Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. My company got charged £26,000 by our cheap A insurance company for just that, being cheap. The second story. Why say a lot of words when few words do trick? Me order sandwich, take long time. Driver forget drink. Me say I no pay for drink. They say no, send drink anyway. No straw. Me open lid. Spit in my drink. Anger. He fired. End. The third story. The company has hired an app development to work remotely, and now the CEO wants them all to come to the city where there's an officer resign. They lost 6 IT specialists at one time. The first story is £26,000 of karma. Around June last year, we had one of our top-of-the-line performance cars pull out the used car lot's park up, and the owner got out. Got in the top-of-the-range non-performance vehicle his was based off of and drove away. Confused as to what just happened, I went and asked a salesman and was informed that the guy had come in and straight swapped his made-to-order £30,000 performance car for a £27,000 less attractive car because he was simply afraid of taking it anywhere in case he got carjacked or it got stolen. Side note, being made to order it is a common target for all kinds of thefts around here. There's cases of thieves literally walking up to people's homes and threatening them with concealed firearms until they hand over the keys. Happened to someone I know, actually. Anyway, this vehicle gets stuck outside of my unit and sits for about 3 to 4 weeks untouched. No price or anything. Finally get prepped ready for sale and stuck in plain sight at the edge of our lot as eye candy. Now we've had 3 of these at one time in the past, and within a week they were all gone. Well, I say all. One of the 3 that was sold was sitting waiting for collection one night, and someone tried to steal it. Except they failed, so instead of leaving empty-handed, they stole the seats. Yes, the seats. Pickup did get delayed due to the need for new window and seats, but it did still get sold within a week like I said. The vehicle got moved around a few times after this, at one time literally being parked first space from the flimsy gate, where I said to the salesman who parked it there, "Do you want to get that stolen?" He said if they want it, they can have it. Seemed a bit suspect, but I carried on like nothing happened. Then the following week our partsman came in at 7:30, as he always does, and noticed the used car's gate was open. At the same time, the driver came round to unlock the gate, but to his surprise it was already open. Come 8 o'clock when the rest of us showed up, the partsman says to me, "Have you seen the performance car this morning?" I say no, why? He explains that he got here early and the gate was open, but he didn't notice it on the lot. Thought nothing more, and next I heard apparently the dopey driver had taken it to the other sales site. Nothing is said for the next 2 days until some salesman goes to move said car and gets the key. But he can't find the car, and there's another car parked in its spot. After about an hour of looking, salesman decides to ask dopey driver which site he took the car to. Dopey driver says the nearest site, and he left the keys there. Turns out dopey driver didn't take the performance car and just took a car the same color. So where the F was the car? Someone finally has the genius idea of checking the CCTV. Quick update, gate was found open on Tuesday, it was now Thursday. Checked Wednesday, no car. Checked Tuesday, there's the car. In the space, another car is now parked in. So where did it go? There was a gathering of sales in the office as I walked past to get a car. I stopped and looked to see them all gathered up and wandered in to see what was happening. They were all watching the CCTV. They'd been in there for a good while as they were watching all of Tuesday. Then Tuesday night rolls around. Side note, our pitch fog lights go off at 8 p.m. At 8:02 p.m., one man walks onto the pitch and presses what we assume is a key fob, and performance car lights up. He jumps in, fires it up, reverses it back, and stops. He waits for a minute before getting back out, opening his bag and getting back in. A few seconds later, the cabin lights up once more, but it's not a cabin light. He's cutting off the steering lock. A minute or 2 later, the cabin goes dull again. The car fires up and he drives off down the middle of the lot, into a dead end. He turns around, drives to the front gate, opens it like it wasn't locked, and drives off down the road. We stop the CCTV there and look at the guy who was supposed to have locked it that night. Before anything is said, he winds back the CCTV to 7, which shows him locking the gate. But we rewatch from the point of him locking the gate. At 7:33, a man walks past with a bar, snaps the lock, and disappears off into the night. This was bloody well coordinated, I'll give them that much. So that's how the performance car got stolen. Head of sales calls police, inform insurance an investigation is launched, etc. Then on Friday, another salesman goes to look for another car. It can't be found. Without hesitation, the CCTV is checked, and guess what? At 8:40, another guy walks on site and gets in another new used car and pulls away into the night, not getting lost on the lot this time. Police are called again, insurance also informed, and the investigation continues. Now on to the karma, my favorite part. The insurance, curious as to what actually happened, sent in someone. He found key room open with no lock, key safe left open, combination to safe written on wall, keys held to locking tags via P-thin wire, wire cutters in the bottom of the safe. Insurance claim void. Please pay £16,000 excess for your performance car, £10,000 excess for your standard vehicle. Oh, and we're jacking your price up. Thank you for your custom. I'm writing this about 7 months after it happened, and we've never ever seen the cars since. The GM even fired the guy who prepped the performance car on no evidence, so that sucks, but he found another better paying job, so karma again. God, what a comedy of errors. You know, I honestly don't blame the insurance company for raising prices, but it seems to me that it would have been reasonable to at least pay the money for the cars. Although there's probably a clause in the insurance contract like, you must keep your car keys locked at night. D. This whole situation sounds really bad for your company. Even if it's their own fault for not enforcing strict security measures, it would be a good idea to catch the people who stole those cars. It probably happens a lot more often than you think. I remember a while back my father telling me that the owner of the dealership was caught cheating the manufacturer for selling cars that never left his lot. The second story is, thank goodness he forgot the straw. This happened a few years ago when I made the mistake of ordering from a popular sandwich delivery chain, one that prides itself on speedy delivery. What you need to know about me is that I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to food service. The last thing I want to do is upset folks who are handling my food, largely because I don't want to give them any reason to tamper with it. I'm polite, I don't complain, I don't send food back or ask for compensation, and I always tip. Apparently that's not always good enough, but I digress. I was feeling a bit under the weather, and I didn't feel like cooking, so my wife and I decided to order a couple sandwiches for dinner. She ordered hers with extra peppers and a bag of chips. I got mine with a cookie and a drink. And then we waited. An hour goes by and I start to worry. We had ordered online, and delivery from this place usually doesn't take very long. Hence their tagline, maybe something went wrong. Maybe they're busy. 30 more minutes go by. F. I call up the store, and am greeted by a friendly employee. F.E. Me. Hi, sorry, I was just calling to check on my order. We ordered about an hour and a half ago and haven't received it yet. F.E. Oh, sorry about that. Confirms order details. Yes, it should be out to you soon. I apologize for the long wait. We only have one driver this evening and we're busier than usual. Me. No worries, I just wanted to make sure it was still coming. Approximately 2 hours after we had originally ordered, the delivery driver shows up. Having been delivery drivers ourselves, we give him the benefit of the doubt and tip him normally, no complaints. Then it hits me. He forgot my drink. I rush outside hoping to catch him, but he's gone. Now ordinarily I might have shrugged it off, but since I'd already waited 2 hours for my food, I decided to call back and was once again greeted by F.E. I explain the situation, and he offers to have it sent out immediately, with a free cookie of my choice for the inconvenience. I ask if he can just take off the price of the drink for my order, and he refuses, so I accept his offer. Another 45 minutes go by before the delivery driver returns. I'm pretty annoyed at this point, but I thank him for the drink, and apologize to him since it's now just 10 minutes to closing time. Nearly 3 hours after I originally ordered my meal, I sit down to enjoy my long-awaited beverage. I open the bag that contained my consolation cookie, and surprise, it's the wrong cookie. But more importantly, there's no straw. Up to this point, you might have been wondering why the title of this post is, "Thank goodness he forgot the straw." I had no reason to suspect that the delivery driver was angry with me. I had been polite. I didn't complain about the extremely late delivery, and I had tipped him generously. I hadn't wanted him to make an extra trip just to bring my drink. I just didn't want to pay for something I didn't receive. F me, right? You see, in the absence of a straw, I had to take off the lid to enjoy my soda. Upon doing so, I realized in a moment of rage and disgust that I had been saved by his incompetence. There on top of the ice was an unmistakable glob of translucent off-white slime. A big fat hate-infused loogie. From there it went exactly as you might expect. I proceeded to call the store for a third time, and as calmly as possible, I asked to speak to the manager who was cooperative. This was the result. I received a full refund, obviously, and the assurance that the delivery driver would not be receiving the tip for that order, and that he would most likely be let go. I was offered a generous store credit, which I declined since A, I would not be ordering from them anytime soon, and B, I didn't want it to seem like I just wanted free food. I was contacted by the regional manager, who was extremely apologetic and understanding, and tried again to compensate me with free food, which I again declined. He also confirmed that the delivery driver had been fired. I was mailed an apology letter from the corporate office, which included a gift card, which I gave away. I've since resumed ordering from there, but I no longer get drinks. Every time, though, I still think about how I narrowly avoided becoming a victim of his poorly executed revenge. Thank goodness he forgot the straw. As a normal, well-mannered person, I'm disgusted to think that people really do such SH with other people's food. Would you spit at another person if they stood face-to-face with the possibility of retribution? No, you wouldn't, B. Some would say that you might not have made that delivery driver come back for your drink, but that's wrong. Because if you paid for a drink, you should get a drink. If the delivery driver forgot, it's not your fault. A reasonable person wouldn't say, "Oh, they forgot to get my drink. I'll just forget about it." You paid for it, you should get it. The delivery driver was an 11 out of 10 jerk. I'm sorry this happened to you, but the fact that he was fired makes me happy. And the last story is, CEO said, if you want to work from home, go work somewhere else. So most of my team and I did just that. For a short while last year, I worked as a team lead for one of the app development teams for one of the food delivery apps. The entire team had been working from home since the start of the pandemic, and had a bunch of remote-only people join, so they were spread across several time zones. But we made it work because we thought this was how things were going to be going forward. After making several $1 billion from people like us working from home and ordering delivery, around the end of summer, the entire C-suite decided that COVID was pretty much over. Spoiler, it definitely wasn't, and all my people knew it, and that we would all be heading back to the office part-time, gradually increasing to full-time. Now, this place had pretty high turnover, so most of us had never been to any of the offices since we had been hired. We had been told when we were hired that any return-to-work policy would be super flexible, and it turned out it really wasn't. Moreover, those in cities without an office, even though they were hired as remote workers, were expected to come up with a one-year plan about how they were going to move without any assistance or compensation to a city with an office. Needless to say, my team and many others lost their collective SH over this new policy. So the CEO started doing town halls with the other executives to pump the collaboration and team-building aspects of being back in the office. During one of the Q&A sessions, someone finally asked something like, "I was hired remote, and I don't live in a city with an office. I don't want to uproot my family. Will you make exceptions for people like me?" To which the CEO replied, "Look, this is what we're doing and what we think is best for the company. If you want to work from home, my suggestion is to go work somewhere else." What happened next was the digital equivalent of the air being let out of a balloon. The company's Slack channel conversations ground to a halt and became virtual ghost towns, going from spirited conversations to the bare minimum functional courtesies. The attendance at company-wide meetings fell by half, and within a month there was a veritable flurry of resignations, including mine. Prior to this debacle, we had already been paid below market rates, so this FU from the CEO was just the match being lit on an already pretty sizable tank of gas. By the time I left, the team that started at 8 people was down to just 2 deciding to stay. And 6 months later, word is they're still trying to find people and resorting to making Q&A people into app developers just to try to keep things going. As for me, I got a 50% pay bump for less responsibilities and work just a few hours a day instead of tons of unpaid overtime trying to put out fires at that old SH show. D, your CEO's a real a-hole. You and your colleagues made the right choice. You deserve to be treated better. And in general, what's the point of IT specialists working in the office? I mean, I understand communication and all that, but it's so stupid. Unless they wanted to feel like big bosses and control your every move, and load you with overtime even more. So in any case, you have to run away from there. Subscribe, hit the like button, and have a good day.